Hey everyone, today we're talking about music theory. We're going to talk about tonics, we're going to talk about supertonics, we're going to talk about subdominants, we're going to talk about the Phrygian mode, we're going to talk about the Mixolydian mode, we're going to talk about modal interchange. Sort of. We're going to cover those topics, but we're not going to cover them with all those fancy names. Fancy names are great, and they're really useful when you're in the recording studio and someone says, hey, I'm singing this song and you've got the MIDI of it. Can you transpose it up a major third? And you're like, yeah, how's that? I've just transposed it up a major third. Brilliant, that's absolutely fantastic. And they're like, yeah, I can sing that, that's great. Or maybe you've got a band in who are pretty boring and they've got this chord sequence and they're like, yeah, we've got this chord sequence and it's just like a C and then it goes to the G, yeah, and then the F, and then back to the C. And you're like, do you want, why not just add a pensive moment at one point in that track? So we've got like this same chord sequence, and then what I'm going to do is a little bit of modal interchange. So we can do some cool things that allow us to spice up our music. So instead of this, I've got it's a bit of a muddy sounding piano, actually. Bear with me. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Okay, so how is this useful? Let's imagine I've got a little 7-note piano keyboard. Just the white keys. And I want to play, I don't know, somewhere. Oh, I can't do that. Somewhere. No. Okay. I need to repeat those keys to be able to play this song. So one where over the rainbow. Yeah. So let's imagine I've extended my little 7-note piano keyboard to repeat over and over again. But we're only really concerned with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. These are what we call scale degrees. And we can say, okay, it's the 2, it's the 4, it's the 5, it's the 6, it's the 7, it's the 1, the root, the octave, whatever. Okay? We don't need to think in note names. We need to think in positions in that scale. And you'll notice that a lot of professional musicians actually just write down the key that something's in, and then you'll get like, jazzers will often say, hey, it's a 2-5-1. That's a 2-5-1 progression because it starts on the 2nd note, it goes to the 5th, and then it goes back to the 1. So we're going to talk in numbers today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Right. So what are the cool things that we can do now? We've got a little scale. Ba, 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 ba. We can play tunes. Yeah. That's going to be our tune for today. We can add little harmonies in now. We can add a bit of a low note. Yeah, cool. But what if we want to add a bit more interest? Well, we can move that low harmony down. Okay, so there are different things we can do in terms of that, but let's talk about making some chords. Now, I could explain this in terms of stacked major thirds and minor thirds and stuff, but really, chords are usually 3 notes. They're called triads. Usually, we'll come to that in a minute. And if I played the notes too close together, it'd sound weird, wouldn't it? Yeah, sounds horrible. So we can build a chord out of the 3 notes starting on any note in a scale. So let's say the first chord is built out of alternate notes and it sounds happy. It's great. And then our next chord is built off alternate notes in the scale starting on the second note. It's a bit sad. It's sad. Same thing with the third. That's a bit sad, isn't it? What about the fourth? Oh, that's happy. Happy, sad, weird, happy again. So this makes me think, well, hey, is there something called a chord scale? And yes, it is. There is a chord scale, and it goes in our major chord our major scale that we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Our chord scale goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Ignore that one, it's weird. Major, okay? So, listen, I know these. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major. It's not hard when you've been doing it a little while to remember the sequence. So, why is this useful? Well, it means we can create chord sequences, and we can do it on the fly. So let's say we want to start off like this. Bam, 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 da. Yeah, okay, I've got a chord sequence here, and I've got a melody, and now I want to go to somewhere that's a little bit happy again. So I'm going to move up to one of the other chords that is major. So I remember the 4th and the 5th were major, so I can go like, hey, bum, yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'll go back to the root note, which is major. Maybe I need to add a bit of variety to that. So I liked going to the 4th, but maybe I need to go somewhere sadder after I've been to the 4th. So I'm still playing the chord off the first note. So I'm going to go to the 4th, which is major. Then I'm going to go to the 2nd. And then I'm going to go to the 5th, go happy again. So see how I can pick, right? So I know this one, and this one are going to sound happy. This one, and this one are going to sound sad. This is going to sound weird and shouldn't be hung on for too long. But it leads nicely to this one. So just knowing a chord scale, you can shout out, sad, make it sad, Russ, and I'll go, okay. Make it happy again. Okay. I'm just playing a different order of notes here, but I'm still playing the 5th chord in the scale. Make it sad again. Okay. It's very sad and mellow now. Stay sad. Go happy. Happier and happier. So really, we're just bouncing between these major and minor chords, and I'm just sort of showing you how you can make up these chord progressions on the fly with major and minor chords that are in the scale. These are called diatonic chords, and that is the first section of today. So any questions, ask them now.